A quaint, hairy creature, passing itself off as a bundle of fibrous algae. Bobbing passively in the currents and tides, like a lost seafarer. Lambay Strait harbours a teeming host of the bizarre, each stranger than the next, but all have one thing in common. They are discovered, if at all, only after an intense and dedicated search. What are some of the other strange creatures that may be encountered here? The sexy shrimp, for example. They live in anemones and are known for rhythmically shaking their rear ends. Or the boxing crabs. They carry small sea anemones in their claws like boxing gloves and master the corresponding technique too. Occasional fancy footwork, but mostly covering your weak spots above and a few jabs and hooks. It's a partnership both species profit from. The crabs defend themselves with the anemone's poisonous tentacles, and the anemones feed on the crab's leftovers. The coconut octopus is tired of the camera in its face. It folds up its fortress made of seashells, tucks it under its arms, and trudges off. The carrier crabs pick up everything they can carry or make use of in some way. They wear their collections, clutch and tote them around using whatever they find for both camouflage and protection. Indeed, they carry so much that they have reassigned their last pair of legs as arms. They'll snatch up anything they can get their claws on, even live jellyfish, which throws every would-be crab eater for a loop. The sea urchin likely offers the best protection, though considering its spines, the crab needs to be very careful how it carries its prize. What works for the crabs works for some sea urchins as well. Collector urchins snag everything they can for camouflage. And sometimes they even overestimate themselves a little. The divers are so intent on the sea's small prodigies that they almost overlook the larger ones. The big cuttlefish to the right can't hide its curiosity. Cuttlefish are mollusks that don't live in the open water like squid, but rather stick close to the ground. They can weigh several kilograms. What fascinates the cuttlefish so much about the divers remains unclear. Cuttlefish move mainly by means of a fin line that runs around their entire body. Like octopuses, cuttlefish are capable of sudden color changes, not only for camouflage, but also to signal their moods of the moment. In this case, an equal measure of fear and curiosity. Divers apparently remain a sensation in Lembe's grey underwater world. But the number of divers is growing steadily here in the north of Sulawesi. The port city of Bitung still seems unaffected by tourism. It's mainly about passengers and freight, although the provincial government is reported to have plans to develop the region as the most important tourist destination in the area after Bali. Bitung has 160,000 inhabitants. Take a break even at night. Outside, it's not only the fishermen who are getting started with their work, but the underwater filmmakers too.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, see you.
Night dives usually offer new perspectives on places whose daytime character is already well known. A school of eel-tail catfish. The glare of the spotlights magically attracts sea creatures. Suddenly, the sea is full of bristleworms, rising in huge swarms to spawn. So many that filming becomes practically impossible. A piercing light shines down from above the surface too. It's a fisherman's propane lamps. He is using the same technique as the divers. The light attracts the fish that snap enthusiastically at the shiny, empty fishhooks. Tomorrow, they'll find themselves in the local fish market. In some areas, the light shines all the way to the sea floor, temporarily blinding a stargazer. Stargazers spend the majority of their lives in the sand. These creepy monsters hardly ever expose more than just their eyes, unless something really gets on their nerves. This rare sight is thanks to the tiresome sea urchins. It's more than enough swimming for the next 2 weeks.